Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And this week I've got 3 big movies for you. 3 good movies, let's just put it that way, right out there. First up, 2 films brand new to theaters. The newest Marvel flick, Ant-Man. The comedy starring Amy Schumer, who's Hollywood's new it girl, according to People, called Trainwreck, and a special event from Turner Classic Movies that brought back the 1944 film Double Indemnity. So let's kick off this week with a movie that I was really looking forward to, but where will it stack on the Marvel list? Is it as up there with Avengers? Is it down kind of low? Let's find out together, shall we? Here's my review of Ant-Man. A retired scientist and former hero named Hank Pym needs to recruit some help to stop the man who is now in charge of his company. The new boss has almost perfected Pym's technology of being able to shrink to the size of a bug and receive different levels of strength and powers, and also the ability of growing larger and use it for evil. Pym brings in Scott Lang, a cat burglar trying to change his ways for the sake of his young daughter. To start a new life, Scott becomes Ant-Man. So what did I think of Ant-Man? I thought it's an enormously fun action film. This is the first time we've seen the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but most certainly won't be the last. As we're told at the end of the credits, Ant-Man will return. Many thought the film was a bit of a risk, taking on a lesser-known hero, but I think it pays off. Like all of the Marvel films, there are some great action sequences. These scenes are a bit different than what we're used to see literal miniature battles of Ant-Man facing off against his foe, the Yellow Jacket, as well as Ant-Man shrinking back and forth to take down guards and other henchmen. Much like Captain America the Winter Soldier felt like a political thriller, and Guardians of the Galaxy was more sci-fi, Ant-Man is very much a heist film, mixed in with superhero abilities. There are a bunch of good laughs to be found, which is good because, after all, it's kind of a silly premise. There's also some heart to the film as well, as we see the bond between Lang and his daughter, and also Pym trying to mend fences with his daughter also. The excellent cast stars Paul Rudd as Scott Lang / Ant-Man, the burglar who just got out of jail who wants out of the game and becomes the new superhero. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, the former Ant-Man and physicist, hoping to protect his inventions from falling into the wrong hands. Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, Pym's daughter and board member at his company who was on the outs with him until recently. Corey Stoll as Darren Cross / Yellow Jacket, Pym's former protege, now running the company, who is looking to sell his own version of his mentor's ideas. Bobby Cannavale as Paxton, Lang's ex-wife's new fiancé, who's also a cop on the hunt for Scott. And Michael Pena, Tip T.I., what you know about that, Harris, and Wood Harris as Scott's friends who help him out with the heist. There's also a cameo from one of the Avengers, so look out for that. You can't miss it, really. Be sure to stay for a mid-credit and end-credit scene. It's not the greatest entry in the Marvel catalog, but it sure is a blast and largely an entertaining time at the movies. I'm going to give it the rating of A-List approved. That's right, it gets the A-List seal of approval. Like I said, this is a tough one if you're ranking the Marvel movies, because I really enjoyed this film, but there are so many good Marvel movies, and this one's in there, you know, but it's not at the top. You know, I'd probably say somewhere in the middle, but that's not a bad thing, because I gave every single one of these A-List approved, because I really enjoy myself in all of them. You know, my top movies, and it might sound cliche, but are the Marvel movies, Star Wars, and the Dark Knight films. Yeah, I know. What can you do? Those are the movies I like the best. So, I'm gonna like it. I knew I was gonna like it as soon as I walked in the theater. As soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, yeah, It'll probably be A-list approved. But everyone's like that. You're gonna like movies, you know, if you're into them. I'm sure you Harry Potter fans out there, you're gonna like it no matter what it is, so... But yeah, I'm glad Ant-Man has gotten some good critical response, other than just from me. A lot of people are liking it, so I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see everyone gave Ant-Man a shot this weekend. Alright, up next is Judd Apatow's newest film that was written by Amy Schumer as well. This is my review of the hit comedy Trainwreck. A 30-something single woman who sleeps around, drinks a little too much, smokes marijuana, and doesn't want any serious relationships meets a sports surgeon she interviews for the magazine she works for. The doctor ends up taking a liking to her, and the feeling becomes mutual. Ooh. Of course, we have to wonder, will our heroine be able to change her ways and settle down, or will she fall back into her old ways? So what did I think of Trainwreck? I thought it's an amusing comedy. If you're not familiar with Amy Schumer's stand-up acts or TV show, it's important to know she's no Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farms. She's raunchy, brutally honest, and goes there when you don't expect her to. I guess you should expect her to. I like Amy, and I think she is a great talent, so I was interested to see how her debut starring film would be, and if you're a fan, I don't think you'll be disappointed. There are some very funny moments, and it's easily some of the funniest material I've laughed out loud to this year. Be warned, though, it's quite crude, so don't think about showing it at the church picnic. You hear that, Grandma? About halfway, the story becomes somewhat a routine romantic comedy with a number of familiar elements, but it's still all entertaining. I was surprised that there are some heavier dramatic scenes, but if things get a bit serious, usually a joke is dropped to lighten things up. Amy Schumer, who also wrote the film, stars as Amy, the commitment-phobic woman who might be ready to give a relationship a shot. Bill Hader as Dr. Aaron Connors, Amy's new boyfriend who doesn't know about everything from her past. Brie Larson, oh yeah. As Kim, Amy's younger sister who's married and has a stepson. Colin Quinn as Gordon, Amy's dad they moved into a nursing home because of his MS. Tilda Swinton as Diana, Amy's boss at the magazine. John Cena, as Steven, Hackett, an awkward guy Amy had been seeing, and LeBron James playing himself as a good friend of Aaron's. The whole cast does great work, but I was shocked how good of an actor LeBron is here. Trainwreck ends up in some familiar territory, but is a mostly hilarious trip to take. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. Yes, it's a good, funny movie. Like I said, this might be an awkward film for a first date, maybe, if they're not really into Amy Schumer, or they don't really know her. I don't know that I would take a girl to see this, not on a first date, knowing if she could take the crudeness, I guess you could say. But, you know, if she really is a fan of Amy Schumer, then by all means take her. I thought this was a funny movie. Like I said, it kind of caught me off guard with some of the more dramatic stuff, but I was glad to see that she could pull off more dramatic stuff as well. Like I said, it falls into that romantic comedy territory where we can see where it's coming a mile away, but it's still a good, funny movie. It's definitely entertaining. One of the funniest movies I've seen this year so far. So if you're an Amy Schumer fan, definitely check this out. Alright, and finally this week, we're going old school. It's the newest Turner Classic Movies special screening. It's playing Saturday and Sunday this week, which, if this is up before Sunday, you probably already missed it. But you can get it on DVD from Netflix if you care to. This is my review of Double Indemnity. An insurance salesman is contacted by a housewife who wants to secretly take out accident insurance on her husband. The two end up falling for each other and start scheming on how they can off the hubby and get double the life insurance money. The duo succeed as their foe meets his doom. But will things work out, or will the couple get busted? So what did I think of Double Indemnity? I thought it's a classic noir drama. It's from 1944, based on a novella of the same name, and still packs a punch today. Right from the beginning, the main character tells the audience he committed murder, so we kind of know where everything will end up. Getting to that point is the journey. There's definitely tension to be found. First to see if the pair will go through with the plan, and then when the salesman friend and co-worker starts to get hunches that something is going wrong. It's also interesting to see the self-destruction of the salesman, from starting as a mild-mannered guy to a cold-blooded killer, all for a woman. They do it all to us, don't they? The film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, but surprisingly didn't take any home. The cast stars Fred MacMurray as Walter Neff, the insurance salesman who gets caught up in a plot to commit murder. Barbara Stanwyck as Phyllis Dietrichson, the unhappy housewife who's thought about getting rid of her abusive husband. Edward J. Robinson as Barton Keyes, the claims adjuster who feels something is off with the case. Tom Powers as Mr. Dietrichson, the unsuspecting husband who bites the dust. And Jean Heather as Lola, Dietrichson's daughter who feels her stepmother has something to do with the murder. If you've never seen Double Indemnity and enjoy watching old school films, make it a priority to watch. I'm going to give it the rating of A-list approved. That's right, it gets the A-list seal of approval. Yes, definitely another good movie to watch. If you're into the old classics, like I said, this is a good one. I wasn't really familiar with it until they announced they were going to be showing it. I've seen the title thrown around, obviously, before, but when I saw they were going to be showing it, I thought, let's check this movie out. And I really enjoyed it. So if you've never seen Double Indemnity, put it on your Netflix queue now. Alright, peeps, that's all the time we've got for this week. I'll be back next week with my reviews of Paper Towns, Pixels, and I'm not sure if Southpaw is coming to the theater near here, but if it is, I will be seeing it. So possibly Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, but definitely Paper Towns and Pixels next week, and whatever else I may catch on DVD or Blu-ray. So until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/westside515. You can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. And of course, you can buy my book, The A-List Review 2014 Movie Review Yearbook. Over 150 reviews, only $10. Contact me through Facebook or Twitter if you're interested. Until next time, Troop out.